Hi everyone, welcome back. This is my another video related to IA commentary, and the purpose of these video is to help the students or the candidate, those who are appearing for IBDP examinations, to score better in their internal assessments. It's always a challenge to score good grades. So this is a very specific criteria specific video in which I will be sharing the information which help you to score better in specific criteria. So looking forward to discuss one more IA query raised by many students, which is that how to score 3 on 3 in criteria A diagram. If you'll see the if I have to mention it as an examiner as well, that how losing marks over here is something not at all good for the candidate, because this is maximum probability of scoring 3 and 3 is quite high in this criteria. So just watch this video. Under this video I'm going to talk about the nitty-gritty which an examiner looks into while assessing for criteria A diagram. So what, before starting ahead, I'm going to talk about what are the common mistakes that candidate generally comes up with in their IA, in their commentary. It is related to, the first thing is the labeling. We think that the labeling is very simple, and we have seen in the textbook also, and we can refer to many other exam. So labeling is quite easy, so we'll score. No, but if you'll see, 50% of marks goes in the labeling only. And another common mistake is explanation of the graph in context of the article. We do understand the meaning of explanation of graph after studying. However, it is very important to connect it with your article. So if you have randomly theoretically drawn the graph without referring to your article, it won't give you full 3 on 3. So these are the two common mistakes. So further, I'll be discussing all these mistakes and all the requirement of this criteria under this video. Kindly have focus on it. So looking to understand it better, I have taken one of the graph over here. If you'll see, this is a global commentary a child has written. As I have gone through with the article so I'm just commenting on the same. Now this graph says, the very first thing that you have to notice over here is the x-axis and y-axis. So the child missed one most important thing, which is to mention the word x for the x-axis. Second, looking to the quantity of the imports on x-axis, it is important to write the units as well, because we measure the quantity in units. At the same time, the price of import, it should have some value of currencies, which is very important to score full. When I say some value of the currency, it may be US dollar, depending upon this. If I'll see, it is a Norway situation, so a child should go for the currency which is mentioned above in the Norway currency. All right, so these are the two x and y axis, very important. Looking forward to the demand. So when I say demand, demand is downward sloping, which is DD. DD stands for the domestic demand. So the article says that the India is importing the goods from Norway. Keeping that in mind, we have drawn the demand, domestic demand of India. At the same time, domestic supply by India. So this is what India's demand, domestic demand and supply. Although child have not mentioned, so it would be great if you can write in little India on both the points over here, that it makes it easy for the reader, or it is more clear that the child have understanding. This is the domestic demand of India. Coming to the another point, so it is a clear case of fall in the tariff, and it is falling in such a way from 40% to 0. Why it is 0? Because the fall in tariff leading and bringing back the economy to the world price, that is PW. So that is there in the article. I have read the article, so I'm telling it confidently. The child has done the correct thing over here. So the PW plus T, SW plus T is a sign which is the initially, and these downwards arrow are very, very, very important to mark wherever the shift you show, either in macro, either in micro, or in global, whatever the change you are showing. These arrows should be there, showing the change in the direction of the curve. So for example, it generally kids, this is another common error which I have seen kids avoid, or they don't put these the change arrows in their graph. So please be mindful, it is important. Looking for the world price, looking for the tariff prices. So import without tariff, child is clearly labeled. And once the tariff has been removed, the child has again labeled import without, import with tariff. Okay, this is import without tariff and this is import with tariff. So child has completely labeled it, what is the scenario after and before. And to mention the change, the child has shifted these quantity to the rightwards and leftwards, showing the increase in import after the reduction of tariff. So it is well drawn curve in these contexts over here, over here. These are all correct information. Now coming back to another important thing in the graph, he has also mentioned the area ACB, which is again signifies the very good theory of or concept over here, application over here. The child has understood what is the impact of on producer surplus, consumer surplus after reduction of the tariff once it has been removed. So it has been used to explain it better. So it is advisable always label the area. Sometimes kids do the shading and all. Apart from that, that gives good look and appearance to the graph. However, it is not necessary. Make your graph simple and clean, that would be much better. Okay, now coming, this is the first part which I have explained. Okay, so this is the first part which I have explained. Now I'll go to the second part where I will be talking about the explanation of graph. So we have just covered the 50% of journey. Now the remaining full marks that we are looking for, depends upon the explanation. What are the common error in explanation? Children, just go through with the basic that 40% tariff has been reduced and which shifted the PW, the price line from PW plus T to the world price PW. However, this is not the case. You have to start and connect your graph even with the article as well. So as the reduction in the tariff increases, the interdependence between the country, very nicely child has brought the key concept. However, it will help the child not in this criteria but in criterion D, in which the key concept has to be covered. So this is nicely explained because reduction in tariff shows that they want to interdepend on each other, both the country Norway and India wants to. As it decreases the cost of production for foreign producers, the supply of imported goods and services shifts from world plus tariff to SW. So the child has explained or started the explanation with the SW. So my suggestion over here, it's always mention about x-axis and y-axis in your explanation, what it stands for in a line. So child could have started the explanation after the interdependence between the country, that above curve shows the quantity of imports by India on x-axis and the prices of imports on y-axis. So this should be the first line. Ideally, after the interdependence, it should come over here. The second, it should be, he should cover and talk about the domestic demand and the supply, what it stands for. The downward sloping domestic demand shows inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. If not so, but at least do mention the slope of the demand and supply. Secondly, he should talk about before and after concept. However, he started with the tariff part, which is fine. Now the explanation should go. So first two point which he missed, he should go for is this one. Coming back to his explanation, which he correctly said, leading to 40% decrease in tariff world price. So he immediately jumped and come up on the reason of shift, which is cost of production fall, a removal of tariff, fall in the prices for the Indian buyers from PWT with tariff, and for without tariff is PW. which is correct. The shift of S world plus tariff is a parallel as diagram assume that the scale of world market allows PW to be import price at any quantity. So this is correct. PW and the standard constant world price. He brought very nicely the theory over here. Thus, the decrease of 40% in price is equivalent in the magnitude to all quantity level. Examining the effect. So this is what he brought theory very nicely in the given context and connecting it with the article because he's measuring the chain exactly given in the article. So if I'll go through with the article, it is clearly mentioned also with this 40%, which is India today meet high tariff barrier up to 40% on certain goods. So which is correct if I'll see the magnitude and also the information given so far is correct. It is very important to identify the impact on the stakeholder once the tariff has been removed. So examining the impact on the stakeholder, India's domestic production decreases from Q1 to Q3 by area A. As less efficient India's producers replace the more efficient international producer between Q1 and Q3. Very nicely he explained over here. However, he could have mentioned about the A, it could be a global misallocation. So a child could have mentioned over here global misallocation, which is again very important implication of either removal of tariff or imposition of the tariff. So there is a global reduction in global misallocation of resources should have been highlighted. It would be a better explanation for the graph. Okay, although he has mentioned the word more efficient international producers, so it substitute completely, or it can be, it can be written in a lesser word, which is reduction in the global misallocation. So both are correct. However, I could have mentioned it because it is one of the terminology that we generally use for criteria A. Replacing the goods import from the Norway. India's tariff revenue decreased by C, so no tariff revenue of India. So it is correct. Yes, the government revenue. The what the basic term over which child miss is the government revenue. So it is important to cover the government word as well because the tariff are the part of the government's revenue. Decreased by C, so no tariff for India. However, due to the price decrease, India's domestic consumption increases from Q3 to Q4. So it has been explained. Now it has not been explained further. So what child missed over here? He could have talked a little more about criteria B over here due to price increase. So there is a reduction in social or dead weight loss. So child could talk about fall in dead weight loss, covering the point A plus B. First thing, this is the dead weight loss. Yes, however, India government will be in loss, which he has identified. So overall, if I have to give marks to this child, the child will score 2 out of 3. So if you'll keep all these things in mind and bringing the explanation of your diagram, you have probability of scoring 3 by 3. I hope this video will definitely help you to score better in your extended in your IE commentary. Thank you. Bye bye. See you with some more interesting videos and topics.